Have you ever realized that the same system that killed Jesus is the one that created a religion to talk about him? Jesus didn't come to be worshipped. He came to reveal something, a way of operating reality.
You were hired by NASA not because of your knowledge in astronomy, just because of your talent at painting?
They enjoyed the way I painted things to make things look real, like my understanding of light. How I could take something that doesn't exist in reality. After a certain point, I surpassed needing photos, and I could basically construct things that don't exist, understanding how light would hit form. And they recruited me after a vernissage, after I graduated from political science intelligence at a Jesuit school in Canada.
And what was your job like?
Well, in the beginning it was like, we'd like to see some samples of textures and stuff like that. And they started really pushing me into using different types of spill effects and stuff like that. They already had an idea, like they seem to already have this system of textures or ways to make textures. So they asked me to, I guess I was just filling in on somebody else's work, like a predecessor who went into retirement. And once in a while I would get calls from a gentleman who was the head of the graphics department. You know, he'd ask me to change the color on things or the lighting. And then what they would do is they would send me like a drawing or an architectural drawing of like an instrument that might be scouting the surface of a celestial body, be it a moon or a planet. And then they would ask me to transpose these objects on the textures, and they would give me certain directions of like the light is at this angle, this time of the day, at this intensity, and then I would have to make the shadows congruous to the information they would make, and I'd have to make it look real.
And can you explain to us what happened between your steady job that you just described and...
It wasn't steady. It was on and off, and it was freelance.
Okay. And what happened between that period and now? What is the turning point that made you totally dissociate yourself from what you were working for?
Was about a year after I met some of the people I was working with over the phone and on computer at a function. And I think it was kind of like somewhat of an initiation to this division of NASA. There was one gentleman there that didn't work for NASA, but he was like a consultant for the U.S. Defense Department, GPS, and NASA. And he was a physicist and a painter. Very interesting combination. He was a well-known astrophysicist and a photorealist painter. And there was a party at somebody's cottage. And the power went out, and it was about 1 o'clock in the evening, and there was one gentleman who was friends with this guy, who was this consultant for the U.S. Defense Department. Now, this guy was basically a friend of one of my superiors and a colleague. I think the conversation started turning around like GPS coordinates weren't working or something concerning Antarctica, and so then he made a crack. This gentleman who was working for the both as a consultant, so it was like, I was like, well, so you should go out there and, you know, just like check this thing out, see if it's still functional. And then somebody made a quip to the effect that, well, if he goes out that far, he ain't coming back. And I asked, like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, why wouldn't he come back if it's like, if he can go back on his, because GPS doesn't reach that far. And then I was like, well, why doesn't GPS reach that far? I mean, is it too cold? And it's like, it's because it's flat. And they started laughing. They all started laughing. And my superior had quite a weird smirk on his face. He was watching me to see how I would take all this. And then basically he took out some chalk. It was like a cement sort of plank floor of some sort. And he started drawing out the Earth, all the continents exactly, but how they function, everything, physics, science, how everything we understand in movement of energy and objects, in this new or hidden science, hidden from the public, how everything is caused by temperature.
And you believed them right away?
It made a lot of sense. They were kind of laughing, but they were they were listening to him. He seemed to be like kind of like this guy who's just this weird, I thought he was some sort of nut that these guys, but he was basically just like picking apart everything that they know or that they say every day in the office. He was basically explaining the flat Earth and how it works. He literally drew the UN flag. And I thought this was a joke. I thought they were fucking playing with me to see if they could convince me it was flat. what was creepy about the whole thing is that they were more laughing at me for not getting it. It never went back to it being a ball with these gentlemen. And then I started to scrutinize the actual images of the Earth they claim are photos. And it just started looking silly, like a cartoon. Like, why is the water so blue if it's reflecting the blue atmosphere, but I can still see the brownness of Africa? Wouldn't I be seeing Africa through the blue atmosphere? Like, why is the green and the brown of continents so clear with the blue of the water when the water of the oceans is just reflecting the blue atmosphere? And how come the whole thing, being 3 parts water, isn't reflecting the blackness of space? Like, I started seeing all these flaws. And the more and more I tried to prove this guy wrong, or just to find out if they were joking and pulling my leg, the more I realized they weren't joking.
Not only has he proven NASA wrong, but even NASA's very own Robert Simon says the Earth is photoshopped because, well, it has to be. NASA has, countlessly admitted that the Earth is a flat, motionless plane in a lot of their documents, which are actually available in the public domain. So yeah, do your own research. This is just for entertainment purposes.
This gives me so much hope. Straight from NASA's Instagram, everyone knows it's fake. Nice hired actors, space clowns, highest paid actors. Where's Katy Perry? Clowns don't have the technology. Lie. Another one. Lie. Green screen. AI. They're still on Earth. And then people posted a bunch of GIFs. Actors. Launched on April Fool's Day. Looks like CGI. Why haven't we been back to the moon? Good question. Another one. AI. We never went. Dude, everybody knows it's fake.
Artemis' mission to the moon was a success. Complete and total success. I have to hand it to them because everything they have done so far has been so unbelievable and so insane to humanity, right? Because these 4 individuals are going to be the only individuals that have ever completed this mission, Artemis mission to the moon. I do just have a couple of questions. I want to know why we can't see any stars, and there were no satellites in the sky as well. That's just for information purposes. There are little toys that keep flying around. I don't know, but I thought that there was something that had to happen in order for, things to float and move around on their own, but I'm not a scientist. And then my third question is, why is there nothing like live on the outside of the capsules so that we could actually see the entire space around it? So we can not only just see the moon and the earth, we could see the sun and the stars and the other planets and galaxies. But that's just my little take. Oh my God, those glasses, those fucking paper glasses that they wore to protect their eyes when looking at the moon. Get the fuck out of here.
Why are they not live streaming from the outside of this rocket ship that's going around the moon? I saw this question asked in a comment section on another video, and I was like, that's right. Why aren't we live streaming this whole thing? Not the inside of the stupid shuttle. I don't want to see the inside. I'm talking about the outside. If we can make our special little phone call in 1969, why are we not live streaming this entire thing? Somebody else mentioned the satellites, like the 14,000 satellites that are like rotating around Earth right now. When they show us like the picture of the Earth from space, where are all those satellites? Are they farther out than the shuttle when the shuttle takes the picture? I'm confused. I mean, I know the answer of why they're not doing all of this stuff. I mean, this toilet on the space shuttle cost $30 million, and you can't live stream the whole thing? I want to see the whole thing from start to finish. You taking off, you going up through the belt thing of The Van Allen radiation belt, that's what it is. I want to see you go through that. And then I want to see the Earth from your view the entire time. And then I want to see you go around the moon. I want to see all of it. Because you're so advanced, you should be able to do this. You should be able to live stream your whole trip. And again, not your little conversations that you're having inside the spaceship. I don't care that the space plumber had to fix the space toilet. But somebody please explain to me why they're not doing this, other than, I mean, what we are all really thinking.
Every now and then I'd watch all that and wonder, what? This is all cartoons. And every now and then I think to myself, it's weird that we're not watching any actual footage of space. It's all CGI. All DVDs on space are all CGI. There's nothing real. And everyone watches that. They believe it. The narration is all programming. What's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to. Don't we have Hubble? Why don't you point it at the Earth and get some awesome shots of where we live? All the pictures and images from space are CGI. None of them are real. We haven't gone past that. What are you telling me that that's okay? We could just gloss over that? And they admit they're all CGI, except for one in 1972, which is fake. They have one picture. They say one is real, 1972. All the rest is CGI. And where are the pictures of Earth from space? I want to see a picture. I want to see tens of thousands of them. I want to see the sun over here and the moon over there. People should have posters all over the world. People should have these epic pictures of the Earth from space with the moon over here and the sun over there and the planets. There's none.
Literally zero. They do sometimes exaggerate, like claiming they used a NASA camera 1.6 million miles away to take this alleged video of the dark side of the moon. It doesn't take a genius to see how undeniably computer-generated this image is, and yet you think we are...
It's Oriental sites that no human has ever seen before, not even in Apollo, and that was amazing for us. And then the surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse where the sun, moon, and the entire dark moon about that big right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and we at Mars, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a two-planet species. And then the surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse where the sun, moon, and the entire dark moon about that big right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then
Bye.